Hello friends, my name is Geetanjali Kaure and my topic is Vasoactive peptides. At the end of this session, you will know about neuropeptide Y, urotensin 2, vasodilator peptides, natriuretic peptides, vasoactive intestinal peptides, substance P and adrenomedulins. Now, what is vasoactive peptides? Vasoactive peptides are used by body as signal molecules and other cell-to-cell communications. These are classified into vasoconstrictor peptides and vasodilator peptides. Vasoconstrictor peptides are further classified into angiotensin 2, antidiuretic hormone, endothelins, neuropeptide Y, and urotensins. Vasodilator peptides are classified into bradykinin and kallidin, natriuretic peptides, vasoactive intestinal peptides, substance P, cyclic GRP and adrenomedulins. First is neuropeptide Y. It is the most abundant neuropeptide in a brain. It comes under 36 amino acid family. The members of this family are neuropeptide Y, pancreatic polypeptide and peptide YY. Neuropeptide Y is localized in a sympathetic nerve. Its function is neurotransmission. Its action is it exerts post-junctional and pre-junctional action, which is released along noradrenaline. Pre-junctional action is inhibition of nerve impulse, induced release of neurotransmitter, and post-junctional action is long-lasting contractile effect and potentiation of noradrenaline induced vasoconstriction. Its effect on heart is positive inotropic and chronotropic, and effect on a CNS is it regulates food intake, energy homeostasis and stress response. Now, urotensin 2. It comes under a family of 11 amino acid cyclic vasoactive peptides. It is released by cholinergic neurons of brainstem, spinal cord and kidney and heart. Urotensin 2 receptors are surface G protein coupled receptors. Its action is contraction of arterial smooth muscles. Its action is physiologically unimportant in man. Raised urotensin 2 level noticed in hypertension, advanced heart failure and diabetic renal failure. Now, vasodilator peptides. First, bradykinin and kallidin, which are collectively called as plasma kinins. Generation and metabolism. Here, hegemon factor is activated when any tissue injury occurs. Here, hegemon factor is activated by coming in contact with collagen, basement membrane, bacterial lipopolysaccharides, etc., which helps in activation of prekallikrein into plasma kallikrein, which is further helps in activation of kininogens. High molecular weight kininogen is activated into bradykinin in the presence of plasma kallikrein, and low molecular kininogen is activated into kallidin in the presence of tissue kallikrein. Now, kallidin is also converted into bradykinin by the action of aminopeptidase. Now, metabolism of kallidin and bradykinin occurs by kinase 1 and kinase 2. Kinase 2 is also called as angiotensin converting enzyme. Kinase 2 and kinase 1 converts bradykinin and kallidin into inactive peptides. Actions are vasodilation on blood vessel. Vasodilatation on a blood vessel, and action on a smooth muscle is a contraction mainly of intestinal muscles. Action on a neuron is stimulation of nociceptive effect, so produces burning sensation. On a kidney, it increases renal blood flow, facilitates salt and water excretion. Also, diuretic effect of furosemide is reduced by kinin B2 receptor antagonist, which is icatibant. Now, kinin receptors are of two types, B1 and B2. Both are G protein coupled receptors. Now, pathophysiological role are mediation of inflammation. Mediation of inflammation is by facilitating production of interleukin 1 and tumor necrotic factor, and mediation of pain is by increased production of prostaglandin. Also, it is its role in functional hyperemia, hereditary angioedema. It has a no significant role in regulation of normal blood pressure, but it opposes overactive RAS. It involves in adjusting from fetal to adult circulation. Seventh is a role in development of angioedema. Bradykinin antagonist is icatibant. Second is the natriuretic peptides. It comes under a family of 3 cycle peptides: atrial natriuretic peptide, brain natriuretic peptide, and C-type natriuretic peptide. Atrial natriuretic peptides are produced by atrial monocytes, ventricles, neurons, and lungs. Stimulus for a release are of two types: primary and secondary. Primary is atrial and ventricular distension, and secondary is a blood volume expansion, sympathetic stimulation. Its level increases in a plasma in a chronic heart failure, renal failure, and primary aldosteronism. Now, brain natriuretic peptide is produced by ventricles of a heart and a brain, and its stimulus for release and action are also similar to atrial natriuretic peptides. Now, C-type natriuretic peptide is produced by ventricular endothelium and neurons in a CNS. The actions of natriuretic peptides are vasodilatation and diuresis natriuresis. Neutral endopeptidases are a substance which degrades natriuretic peptides. Now, receptors for natriuretic peptides are atrial natriuretic peptide A, B, and C. Neprilysin inhibitors or NEP inhibitors are substances which causes inhibition of neprilysin. Example, sacubitril. It increases level of natriuretic peptides which are used in chronic heart failure in combination with angiotensin receptor blockers like valsartan. Sacubitril plus valsartan is an effective alternative to angiotensin converting inhibitors in chronic heart failure. Now, vasoactive intestinal peptides. These are isolated. Now, next topic is vasoactive intestinal peptides. These are isolated from intestine, expressed in CNS and brain, are co-transmitter with acetylcholine. Here pharmacokinetics is their T-half is 2 minutes. Actions of vasoactive intestinal peptide is vasodilatation. Its action on CNS is increase heart rate. On a GIT, it causes muscle reaction, also increases secretion of salt and water. Moving further on substance P. Substance P contacts intestinal smooth muscle. It belongs to family tachykinin. Members of a family tachykinin are substance P, neurokinin A, neurokinin B. Tachykinin receptors are of 3 types: NK1, NK2, and NK3. All are G protein coupled receptors. Actions and roles of substance P. First is arteriolar dilator, intestinal, bronchial, and other smooth muscle contractor. Second is a vasoconstriction. Third, its action on a kidney is natriuresis and diuresis. Fourth, its action on a brain is a mood change, anxiety, stress, etc. And action also it causes pain perception. NK1 receptor antagonist correct anxiety mode disorder. Also it used in irritable bowel syndrome and depression. Examples are aprepitant and fosaprepitants. Here you know about these drugs. Here you may know about these drugs. These are used as antiemetics. Now, last topic is adrenomedulin. It belongs to family calcitonin. Its location of release is adrenal medulla, hypothalamus, anterior pituitary. Action is a vasodilatation, natriuresis and diuresis. It counterbalances RAS and endothelin. Adrenomedulin receptors are structurally and functionally similar to G protein coupled receptors. Here are some MCQs.